Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Homeroom Lending Podcast. Today, I'm here with my co-host, Kim Fontanez.
Hi.
And I'm joined here by el cuarto bate de real estate, Carlos Salinas.
Yes, thank you. Cuarto bate, that's
heavy.
That's heavy.
That's a heavy introduction.
All right, what is that?
It's a lot.
All right, so cuarto bate
I'm like, what does that mean?
in Puerto Rico, right? So just obviously, Carlos is Puerto Rican.
That's right.
And as myself and Kim by relation to her husband. And so
By association.
in Puerto Rico, right, el cuarto bate is basically the fourth hitter of the baseball team. So he's the best hitter. He's the guy you count on. He's the guy who gets things done. He cleans up.
Oh, okay,
Clean
clean
up.
up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's the best hitter on the team. It could be argued, but he's definitely the main person as far as getting the job done.
Wow.
It's scoring
That's a lot
runs.
of pressure.
It's scoring runs.
All
and winning
right,
the
that's
game.
good. All right, good.
So yeah, that's how I see Carlos.
I appreciate that.
He's gonna so he can introduce himself.
Yeah.
Bueno,
mi nombre es Cuarto Bate.
Yeah.
Carlos Salinas. The handle and hashtag is Mr. You Don't Need 20%. And that's purposeful. So I think I'm with Douglas Elliman. I'm a team leader with Douglas Elliman. Been in the industry for about 5 years. Traveled through a few different companies, and I've finally found a home, which is great because I'm able to exercise my skill set and also be able to help agents that are looking to break into the business and get them on track quickly and successfully over a lot of other teams and team leaders, in my opinion. I'm not a mega team person. I want to keep my team relatively small. I think the more personable I can be to help my teammates, I think the better. The more they'll get out of it, and the faster they'll be on a fast track to success. So
quality over quantity. Yeah,
exactly. So I'm excited. Thank you for having me.
Yes,
it's really good to see you.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
It's
exciting.
exciting.
Your team.
Yeah,
you
thank
know,
you.
everyone, communication from everybody. Liz has been amazing.
Yeah, thank you, Liz.
Meeting Kim, meeting everyone here. Thank you.
Yes,
I
thank
appreciate
you.
you all, so,
I appreciate you coming here, taking the
course.
time,
Of
and
course.
Definitely.
jumping on board on the podcast.
This is good stuff. I think you guys being I don't know if anybody else at your company is doing it, but this is trendsetter level.
Yeah.
Like, I think you being able to create your own platform to navigate how you want your image and company to be perceived is top notch. It's good to have good quality people around you. So
Yes,
I give you that.
definitely.
Appreciate that.
You.
Appreciate that. I mean, for us, we feel that this is one of the best ways for people to get to know us.
100%.
Right now with with the COVID and everything else, I feel
100%.
like we've lost touch with with people over the past few years. I feel like it's been a little difficult. Even people that we knew well, that it's just hard to have these get-togethers.
100%.
Yeah.
We're social by
True.
nature.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Some of us.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
newer.
I'm a social guy.
We can figure that out,
I'm
right?
telling you, some people have a party behind closed doors and don't want to meet anybody.
Yes.
It's just like, oh my God,
That's
okay,
scary.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm the opposite.
Yeah.
I need
think a lot of us are.
Me too.
Yeah, especially
So,
in
I just wanted to ask you, what things as far as how your business is going. I know since I've met you, for the time that I've known you, you are someone that I feel that's very structured, very disciplined and very driven, and that's something that I tell Liz and Kim all the time that we have that we have kind of like that same energy, and we're looking to execute, we're looking to get things done. We have that, we're very ambitious in that sense, but we also don't want to, get those things get in front of what we really want to do, which is educate our clients, the Hispanic community.
100%.
Every time, we always, try to go a little extra, right?
Always.
Every time, just because. It's needed. It makes our job easier. It's a better experience for our clients. So I just wanted to just ask you something how do you what's your approach? What's your philosophy when it comes to talking to a client? I know we have all these things that we have to there's this process and all this structure that we have to get in. But ultimately, what's your your why? What drives you?
Yeah. So when obviously breaking into the business, numbers are everything. If anyone says that they're not, they're not paying attention. Right. So numbers are everything. You definitely want to hit your quotas. You definitely want to hit your markers. You definitely want to make your numbers, especially if you want to be successful. So I think there isn't enough emphasis on the information. I think people are caught up in the statistics. Oh, I got to sell this many to be successful, whatever the case may be. And then they're missing the part of, hey, how can I better service someone with the amount of knowledge that I know or the amount of knowledge that I have in the process on the how. So I tell people all the time, I'm not in sales. I'm at a level in my career where I'm not in sales. I don't want to sell you a house. I don't want to sell you a house. That's not where I'm at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would rather educate you. My business is an information. Right. I'm in a position to put you in a better position to make a better educated decision. At the end of the day, I can't sway. I can't tell you. I can guide. I can educate.
Right.
I can inform, but my business isn't sales.
Right.
My business is information. That's where the separation comes in from.
That's where our motto
the
is.
people that are experienced and know what they're doing. You mentioned structure. Don't ask my wife that. She says I'm probably the most unstructured person in the world. My wife is an accountant, so for her,
extreme.
My wife is
structure.
an accountant.
You gotta have it.
We're total opposites. If she's salt and pepper, I'm a whole can of adobo. You know what I mean? So forget it. That's where we are right now. But I try my hardest in an industry where there is no structure. Sometimes sometimes these, not these clients, but clients want the instant gratification and don't understand that things have to get scheduled out. Or, I might be working with more than one person, not just you. While every client is important, it's vital for you to maintain a schedule in order to service
all of your clients.
Exactly. And time is everything. I had a hard lesson just recently in not allocating time properly, or the difficulties of allocation in time and showing houses. One client didn't feel that I was giving them enough, where I've shown them, forget it, like 10, 20 houses at that point. But, if I'm coming from another appointment, to try to, every appointment is different. You never know when
How
the
long
next
it's
one,
gonna
exactly.
Be. Yeah, what
everybody's
up.
different.
Yeah, as far as structure, it's probably, this is one of the toughest jobs to maintain actual structure when you're in the field. So,
well, there's a saying, right, in sales or in this business in general, across the board, where they tell you, it's said that you have enough rope, basically, right? And I don't even want to say it, but you have enough rope to really tie yourself up real bad. And the point is that you keep getting away from your goals, getting maybe sometimes discouraged and just off focus, because you in this business, like you're saying, you really have to come in with your own structure. You have to have, and also you have to have that personal discipline. All the things you're saying, the way we operate, we look to work with our clients the same way. Educate them. It's not about making decisions for them. From what you're telling me, it's like you put it all out there,
put it in front of them.
Exactly. Let them because you don't really know their personal financial situation.
Correct.
Even though they may they may want to tell you. Well, you do.
Not that you can ask them, but they share that with you, of course. I'm not breaking any rules.
Right. No, I know what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
So there's a certain point, right? I mean, and it's just where, like, sometimes it's more about leading people the right way. Be a leader in that sense, which is I think that's you're a complete leader in the industry. I'm super excited to have you here.
Thank you.
Another Hispanic.
That's it.
Puerto Rican, right?
Hold on. I got it. Espérate.
That's leading. We're in Long Island. We're not,
100%. I'm a New Yorican.
You're a New Yorican. There you go. Yeah.
But I definitely have spent time in Guanica. You know what I mean? So my mother is I'm second generation. Luckily, yo hablo español. Gracias a Dios.
Bueno, perfecto.
A lot of us, a lot of New Yorkers. The culture doesn't leave us, only because my brother, who's a little younger than me, about 2-3 years, it didn't rub off on him as much.
Mm-hmm.
But he understands
I can
it
relate
more
to
than
that.
he speaks it. Yeah, and being a Latino in this industry, being someone, it's
an edge. It's
yes,
yeah.
100%. If I could speak French as well, I would jump all over that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because
Right.
obviously, the more languages you speak, the better outs that you have. I think being bilingual does, separate. I've been in offices where, there are no bilingual agents.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, was that a benefit? Of course.
It's definitely important.
Did I wish there were more of us? Of course. However, some of the cards aren't in play, I would say, like that for certain areas in Suffolk County, Nassau County, forget it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Latinos everywhere, you know what I
Right.
mean? And that's great. But I have a vision for us as as a culture, as Latinos. I wish more of, let's say, bilingual agents and the more Spanish-speaking agents would migrate to Suffolk. I think there's more. I've been
There's
saying
more
this
value
for,
out there. Yeah,
I've been saying this
it's
for
funny.
a while.
I've
been saying this for a really
the real
long time.
value's out there. Yeah.
100%. And I know that we have some out here, and shout out to them.
Right.
I know a lot of them, but I think that for this particular demographic and for this particular kind of agent, I think some areas would be serviced a lot better
Right.
if they had more options as far as
Absolutely.
language and language
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, it's a going joke, right? It's a running joke where if you call NMLS, right, and there's two options, you have the English, you have the Spanish, right?
barriers. Prima número dos.
Right. If you're prima, so you will get somebody right away.
Oh, yeah,
if you hit
yeah,
number
Yes,
two,
it's true.
you get someone right away. So just it's to show, like, even on our end, there's not that many Hispanics are in the business. Even though this just sounds like there's so many, but I just feel like there's really the representation is not there. Maybe the leaders haven't stepped up yet, or they're in the making, right? I mean, we're looking at 10, 15 years down the road. We're going to be in a position, right? God willing, that we could be true leaders, right? I mean, in terms of and have been trendsetters, and and think outside the box and take different approaches. Just as things like and it still goes on in the industry where you have you have clients that meet either loan officers or real estate agents, and they pay them fees, like on the table and things like that. Where there's a lot of things that are out there that I feel like we the more Hispanics that are that are out there that are doing things the right way, high integrity,
100%.
Professionalism.
Yep.
You're going to start seeing that go away. But it's something that is still happening. I hear of it sometimes. By
they're taking advantage of.
Yeah, they're taking advantage.
Okay.
Absolutely. Like
I
where you have
Okay.
other loan officers and other agents that they're doing that. So I think that it's a super important part for us. One by one, right, and do our part in terms of educating 100%. our clients and let them know, hey, listen. That's not something that is 100%. By no means, it's illegal completely, and we need to be vigilant of that.
I agree.
100%. And again, I don't. I had a conversation with someone just recently in trying to. They asked me. They didn't understand why someone wouldn't take. There were two different options, and it was very clear that the bank that they were working with charged 2 points when they didn't have to.
Okay.
Right.
And, those 2 points cost 12, 13, 14, 15
Wow.
in total, right? Only, and it wasn't even to buy down their rate at that point. So, and this is the reason why I coined myself as Mr. You don't need 20% is because I want to drill it into people's heads that, A, you don't need 20% down to put
people still think
purchase
that,
a home.
I know,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
100%. And this is, and it's a stigma that I honestly, I understand where it comes from, but I don't understand why it's stuck so long.
Right.
So the fact that you don't need 20%, The fact that,
that's your insight. That's your information where
exactly.
You can't get. I mean, it's on the internet,
100%.
but that's how you separate yourself and help people. It's by what your experience and your insight. You can't information you can find on the internet, but you can't find insight, and that's what you have.
Or have someone explain it to you so that you understand.
Right.
That's the biggest thing.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you knocked it. We like cuarto bate.
Right. I knocked it out the park.
At the park, man.
Turn the lights out.
Lights out.
Yeah, but going
Wednesday
back to
night,
it,
lights out.
it's just the way that the information is distributed from a reliable source. So let's say, I know for a fact that
reliable source, that's the key.
Yeah,
right.
And it goes back to a lot of isms. So the isms of, I can speak firsthand in growing up in the city, moving, putting myself in, going through college, finishing up there and moving back to the city and then going, moving out to Long Island. It was, I am legitimately a transplant. So when I say Long Island is my home now because 30-some odd years of the concrete, but eso se cansa. You know what I mean? Like that gets tiring. So now, when you're out here, you got grass, you got backyard,
you got space.
Great living, exactly.
Yeah, it's different.
The best sleep I've ever had in my life. So when I try to explain that to like clients that, you don't need 20% down, and then trying to break down the differences between what a conventional mortgage is and what an FHA mortgage is and the options that they have going through, looking at a house and like, if you wanted to do some work, here goes another option.
Exactly.
203K. You like read my mind.
203K.
There's so many
203K.
options.
And the funny thing about it, true story, there was, Victor and Stephanie. I love them both. They were referred to me, and this was not pre-COVID. No, because they just closed. This was during COVID in an area on a house that needed major work. However, they had a certain amount that they qualified for and a certain amount they wanted to spend. They ended up taking a 203K FHA mortgage with a concession.
Beautiful. Score.
I mean, you want to talk about
that's the way to
unicorn.
Go.
Perfect.
Once in a lifetime.
Unicorn situation.
Exactly.
No
Rainbows.
money. Right. Lucky Charms. You know what I mean? Like, so it was the perfect situation for them because not only did they walk into a ton of equity with the inflation where it is now, they scored on a house that they're now essentially going to turn into their own. So they weren't turning it around to flip it. They wanted to be there to live in it.
Which
but
is great.
I think with us as Latinos, we're probably some of the most skeptic people.
And stubborn.
Yes.
Listen.
And I say that respectfully. I say that because I know it. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Can I tell you something? Yesterday,
Yeah.
literally yesterday, and Liz, you can vouch for this because she was listening endlessly about.
What you told me, right?
Yeah, we had a conversation with the Latino, right?
Yep.
And I don't know if it was his mind was stuck in one point or what, because he does construction.
Right.
So explaining the whole process of a 203K loan, it was very, very difficult. Very difficult. Just kind of like just breaking it down because it's like he's thinking who wants to if he's gonna show that house to someone, right, if he's gonna try to buy that house, there's work that needs to be done. For him it's perfect, buy the house, fix it, great. But the explaining what the 2 or 3K loan allows you to do, it's you buy the house, say at $300,000, you are qualified, let's say up to $500, say you use up to $100, right?
Yeah.
Now you have a house that you put in $100,000, right?
$100,000 in equity.
You have so it's a perfect opportunity for you to do a lot of things. Design a house the way you want to,
100%.
Get into more opportunities, because a lot of these houses sometimes could be in a short sale or foreclosure, which is the only way you can get into this property is through that, right? Whether you do a streamline or a regular 2 or 3K. But essentially, that's an opportunity. But to explain that to someone for Latinos, right? Because especially because he did construction, it was kind of like there was just something stuck there. There
was just something missing.
And then at the end, I think we after like a good 45 minutes, I think, of just breaking things down.
You got to break down barriers.
Yeah, he's got to.
Oh my God.
And then he wanted to do the construction for the and he said, okay, so that makes sense. I could get in that way. He just wanted to do the construction.
You're halfway there. You know what you're doing. Right. It's like, if anything, it's going to be less.
Mm-hmm. In fact, you know what, Kim? Like something what are some of the misconceptions with a 2 or 3K? I mean, because I know you've done a million of them.
Yeah.
And I mean, Kim's done a million of everything. She's done reverse mortgages. Actually, that's something that a lot of people don't know about us, is that Kim has like over 7-8 years experience just doing reverse mortgages.
Wow.
Yeah, and also non-QM, non-qualified mortgages. But yeah, 2 or 3Ks. Like, what are some of the things that you feel like people just like hit a wall with, and like it's a great, it's like the best deal out there, I think, personally.
It really is a great loan, for somebody that wants to, go
design
into
their
a
home,
house and fix it, do a new kitchen, do a bathroom, a roof. People don't understand that they can do that. They have no idea.
Right.
But there's an easy streamline, 35,000. There's all different types of loans, and people just don't seem to grasp that.
Yeah, because they think they're gonna get, like, they're responsible for the construction, or that they're responsible for making sure that everything goes
right.
Or when they're gonna get into the house, like nobody wants to get into a house that's not that's not done correctly. It's not fixed, and it's livable. So they think that they have to carry that burden, but in reality, it's the way it works is that we're actually allowing the construction to get done, then the contractor gets paid, then they do the second phase, then they get paid again, and then
it goes in 3.
Right, but the closing happens way before that. The closing happens, whenever the closing is, and then from there, this this process gets started. Yeah, it's dispersed, and then you can just go ahead and walk into a completely, renovated house, beautiful home, the way you want to get. And you get an architect, make it look like, there's limitations, right? I mean, you get a new kitchen, you get a lot of things, but you can't get a pool. You can't get a lot of, you can't get a hot tub.
Yes.
But
you
for
can
someone,
fix the kitchen, bathroom.
Yeah, there's so many benefits. So many benefits. People are scared to,
I think
engage that.
the sources of information is the problem.
Right.
Yes.
So when you're counting on Josefina, Pablo, Juan Carlos, Fernando for information about what you just finished discussing,
it gets everything. Yeah,
it's not correct.
Exactly.
It's like the game of telephone. The message is going to get distorted. And I mean no offense to that. I mean no offense by any means at all.
Right.
I love my people. I love my culture. But please understand, when you face these obstacles in trying to help people of color, or, all people of color, Latinos, everybody. You know what I mean? It's facing these isms and obstacles that we need to go through in order to get you to where you want to be. The worst person you could ever talk to is your neighbor, especially if your neighbor is renting. Please do not count on that as a source of information.
House in the past, that's even worse.
Yeah, right. You know what I mean? Here goes another thing too. Sometimes in any situation, I want to say something, but I'm not. I'll say it off camera. Just remind me. We are loyal to a fault.
Right. Ooh.
Loyal to a fault, and I mean that respectfully. I do, from the bottom of my heart. Trust me when I say we are loyal to a fault. You know that, especially Boricuas. You know what I mean? Biggest hearts in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we lead with our heart. We lead with passion. I've never seen an island so small with such huge representation. You know what I mean? Especially even after everything that we've gone through in the past.
Right.
Just recent past. No electricity, starving children. And mind you, we're a territory of the United States,
right,
and we pay the highest tax bracket. So if you don't think I know about where I'm from, please, I can sit here all day and educate you. Right? Not you. You know what I'm saying.
I've lived it. Yeah, no,
I lived there. Right, exactly.
We're with
You know what I mean? So the thing is, being loyal to a fault, understanding that if you were referred to somebody, right, then if that person worked out for whomever it is that you were referred to, then damn it, that's the person I'm gonna go with, and that he might as well drink out of like a chalice.
Yeah,
and whatever he's pouring,
you
could do no wrong.
Yeah.
When in fact.
And that's scary.
When in fact there are other options. Understanding that, yes, I understand that this was a personal recommendation, but it behooves you to have more options. Go out and be a smart consumer.
Yes.
There is more than one.
Absolutely.
There is a difference between a banker and a mortgage broker. You know, they both serve two different they serve the same end result in two capacities. So figure out which works best for you. You know, and that's my recommendation on trying to break out of that mold or that stigma.
I agree completely. I mean, that's something that, in fact, every time we sit down with a client, we tell them about where they can find other information on the internet about other banks,
100%.
What their rates are, right? 100%. Almost like, you know, use that information as your North Star, as a beacon to understand where things are at. You know, a lot of times, like, and that's a big thing for us because, and it makes our job really easier, is that, you know, we're just completely transparent, right? So when we sit down with a client, you know, we explain to you how the rate is, how it comes up. Where's it coming from? I show you where, you know, look at the 10-year treasury, see how the rates are moving. There's a lot of things that we can provide for a client that
a lot of people don't do.
They don't do. They would never do it. But you have to be confident in that what you're saying to them that you're going to do, and you're going to come through.
I see that because, I mean, you know, working with you and I've been in this industry for
a long time,
forever, and I don't see that. You know, and I'm being honest. People don't do that. They don't take the time to do what you do. You know, I see your emails. I'm on every single one. And I'm like, wow, I love that because, you know, most people don't do that.
Right.
You know, they have no idea. They, you know, unfortunately, they don't. They just look at the TV and that's it, or what their neighbor, what rate my neighbor got.
Right. There's a lot of confusion there. A lot of confusion there. I feel like it's critical for the relationship, for our you know, what we're trying to do, right? Our goal is to make sure that the client has access to that information independently of us, so that when we say, hey, the rate's at 3.5%, and you're going to this other site and the rate is at, say, 4%, or whatever the rate is, right? You can track those things at the same time, so you know that in 2 months from now or a month from now, if the rates go up, you can go to that site and verify. If the rates go down, you can and they can and it lines up with what we're doing. We're not gonna.
Every loan is different.
Yeah, right. That's another. Yeah,
you know,
that's a whole other.
Every person is different. Every credit score is different.
Yeah,
every DTI is different.
Exactly.
You know, the front and the back end, like everything is different.
Yeah, what I gave you, I'm not going to be able to give to you. You
and
know what I mean?
That's the problem.
That's another thing.
And that's another problem.
You know, you might be putting more money down.
100%.
You know, it's a two-family.
Or it could be a two-family.
You know, like,
changes the hits
Absolutely.
on the.
Let me ask you guys a question. How are you? And I've been going through this because of where we are right now, and as far as, you know, inflation and whatever the case may be, how are you guys managing client expectations?
Oh, great! You know what? It's a great question.
Yeah.
It's like it's a good.
I ask it only because it's good to know, because again, the market we're in now is not the market we were in 5 months ago,
Absolutely.
6 months ago.
Rates are changing.
Big time.
100%.
Big time.
Jumped an entire point, at least.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So
and, all right, so that's
how are you managing your client expectations? Go ahead.
I gotta say this. You know, I work. I don't know if I've even said the name. I work. You know, I'm with a direct lender, East Coast Capital, right? And we are a team under the bank, right? Right. So essentially, the rates did go up.
Yep.
You know, it's and we were expecting that. I mean, I've been saying that for a while. You know, inflation is higher. That's the way how we're going to combat inflation.
The Fed,
right? So and you know, so there's a spike, and and if the economy starts doing better, you're going to see the rates going higher, and that's just the nature. That's just cyclical, right? We know it. We expect it. Now, how do we manage clients' expectations? Information. Again, I provide the same, you know, that's actually part of the conversation right off the bat. I say, listen, inflation's going up. Inflation went up. The rates are going higher. Right? Every half a point, 50 basis points, half a percentage, that the rates go up, it will cost you an additional $50,000 on a $450,000 house or $400. So on average, so let's say you waited, right, because you were negotiating for a house, you wanted to save $20,000, or you know, because you wanted to offer 20 less or 15 less, whatever the case was, you were negotiating. In the matter of time that you're trying to negotiate, that the rates went up, and you lost $50,000. So the challenge here is that, yeah, they're saying that property value is going to pull back a little bit. There should be some sort of adjustment there. But
I've been waiting for the correction. It's actually happening. People, I just got off of Zoom. Yeah, no, of course. I just got off of Zoom just now, and this guy, I don't think he knew what he was talking about, but
but it made you think. Of
course. I was a little upset because I don't think people are paying attention to the course correction now. It's happening right now.
Right.
People say that it's not visible. These people, let's say sellers, are still thinking they're in that same market 6 months ago. It's not that market anymore.
It's a power struggle.
I looked this morning at houses, and I'm like, I can't even understand 100%. These realtors that would list these houses at these numbers.
Well, I understand because it'll comp. Remember, we're still looking at the comparables. But the problem is the affordability. If your rates are going up, your money spend is going down.
100%.
You know what I mean?
It's a big hit.
It's a huge hit.
Huge impact.
So nobody wants to take on that. I have somebody else that I'm working with who thinks the market is going to go belly up at some point, and he's going to lose equity in his house. And I'm just like, that's
not a scenario. I mean, anything's possible.
No,
but I can tell you right now, we've been in an environment for the past almost 12 years where it's been heavily regulated. To get a house, 100%. To buy a home, it's not easy. It's like
not easy. I'm going to ask you what you had for dinner.
TMI, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I'm going to ask you everything.
And that's why you see the homes have been going up gradually.
What color socks did you wear yesterday?
It's true. Sometimes
I gotta know these things.
I'm apologizing sometimes because I do have to ask you
so many things.
Personal questions.
How many times did you brush your teeth this morning?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. That's not a question.
No. But it will be one day.
It's a butterfly effect. It's a ripple effect. It's a ripple effect. But it's true. I mean, the properties have have been going up the way they should be with supply demand. It's not like back before we had the big meltdown in the market where anybody could get a house. Yeah, that was that was a true bubble. That was a definition of a bubble. That's so apparent. But right now, we can make say financial educated decisions and say 100%. Educated guesses, because you're in real estate. I'm in the mortgage. We're in the real estate business.
Trends.
We're not in Wall Street. I mean, I used to be on Wall Street, but I'm not there anymore. But I can tell you right now that when you look at the bigger picture, there's a true supply and demand scenario going on in real estate where it's much more predictable and bigger money is going to be coming in. Because even though we don't have you have the conventional loans, you have Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA. However,
you don't need 20% down
exactly
at all. You can put as little as 3.5% on a conventional, even 3
or 3 as well, right?
Lowest 3 on a conventional, home ready.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
But the big money coming in now is you're going to be seen as a non-qualified mortgages. That's happening now, and that is
explain non-QMs, because that's a tough one. Go ahead.
Well, that's Kim's.
Go ahead. Explain a non-QM, because that's a hard thing to.
It is. It's really good for people that are self-employed.
Own businesses.
They don't show all their money.
Correct.
Back
cash
in the day,
heavy.
Cash heavy.
Not even back in the day, because it's still
credit.
But back in the day, they didn't regulate it.
Of course. Yeah. Barbers,
exactly.
salons.
Now it is regulated. You're not doing 100% financing today.
100%.
With the non-QMs, you're putting
unless you're a doctor out of state, out of New York. Right.
Exactly.
That is available. 100% financing. That's just came out recently.
It did.
That's you told me.
I saw that. I saw that with TD. Yeah.
100% financing out of state.
Yeah, I did see that with TD.
Anybody out there?
But I'm so sorry. It's so funny, because the hard part about that is, again, being and surrounding yourself with people that actually know what's going on.
Absolutely.
I had somebody that I had a physician that I worked with. I couldn't to explain to them that there's no one on this planet that's gonna treat a conventional mortgage like let's say
looking unqualified.
No, a vet.
Like a VA loan.
Like a VA loan.
Right. 100%.
100% financing, but that's an FHA mortgage. It's a federally backed mortgage.
Correct. Yes.
To explain to an agent, we're not putting any money down on contract. We'll cover our closing costs, though.
Exactly.
That I hit maybe like 10 brick walls, because I had to explain this.
Right.
Like, this is what's happening.
Yes.
Please educate yourself. Obviously, they weren't, prepared. So, again, working with someone experienced, I had to have the hard conversation and say, listen, either way, you're getting 100% financing. Why don't you just move your closing cost to the front of your mortgage, put your closing costs down, as a down payment.
Right.
And then once you talk to your lender, we can adjust.
Right.
So as long as they see you have skin in the game, and I think that's an important tip for somebody working for 100% conventional financing, let's say through, TD, and you're finding these brick walls that you're running into because agents are like, no money down, no,
exactly.
psych, not working with you. You know what I mean?
Right,
and they run,
Exactly,
Absolutely
they run
right.
because there's no skin in the game. Tip of the day: move your closing cost to the front. It ends up being the same. That's it, because you cannot.
You have to work the numbers.
Yeah, you gotta work
the numbers. Exactly.
That's
To
it.
make it work.
And
To make it
that's
work.
structuring the loan, and that's what's so important.
It's the same numbers.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, you're just moving something from the back to the
Column,
front.
yeah.
And then you
Absolutely.
talk to your local, your finance expert.
Yes.
And they'll help you kind of navigate through the rest. And then
Absolutely.
explain to, obviously, the attorneys, whoever else is kind of on this deal, that this is what we're doing, but it's all the same money. It's it.
Yes.
So yes,
Yes.
100% finance.
Thank you. I appreciate your insightful knowledge on our end as well. That makes it a lot easier to, if more people would be like you.
No, you said that we were going to have fun, and I appreciate you having me on first. So
Thank you, man. Thank you for being.
if setting the bar was a thing, I had to come in swinging, man.
There you
Big
go.
time. I knew I had the right guy.
The cleanup hitter.
Cuarto bate.
Yeah, definitely. No,
So yeah,
great.
guys, I just wanted to, thank you, Carlos,
man.
first of all, for, for
100%.
spending your day with us here
I appreciate
at
it.
the Homeroom Lending
man.
Podcast.
Homeroom Lending Podcast,
Who, by the way, Carlos gave us, other ideas. I think that was off the record. I don't think we have a video, but about other suggestions, how to go.
I'm always thinking, man. Always
because
thinking.
another thing is, I don't know if you mentioned that in the beginning. But you're also, aside from being a real estate agent, you're also a media guy. Primarily PR,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like in that sense. So,
and I think that really helps in the direction that real estate is headed right now. I
It has
learned,
to be
I
really good
learned
for
very,
yourself.
I learned
Right?
very quickly that it was giving away ideas, like the ideas that we spoke off record. I usually don't do that, only because I want to see others succeed. I'm a supportive competitor. Watching you grow and watching you be better makes me want to be better.
Yes.
Especially as a Latino. If I see you out there and I'm like, damn, Jamie's really doing it. Man, if he's running 5 miles, damn, I got to run 6. But you know what? We're going to be looking good together.
Yeah.
I'm not fit like you. I'm trying.
Yeah.
You got to see Jamie in the gym. Oh, my God. If you haven't seen Jamie's poses in the gym, I'm like this. His Instagram is up and I'm like in the mirror like this. I got to be like Jamie. But that's motivation. I'm a supportive
It is.
I appreciate
competitor.
that. And I got
Exactly.
that from you, and I appreciate that, man.
100%.
And thinking that, like that's your mindset. That also
Correct.
motivates me to know that
Yeah.
there's people out there, that want you to succeed
course.
in an industry
I love
where
that.
it's not
course.
like that.
Oh,
Where it's not
so
like
not.
that.
We so we're having and I'm not plugging anything, but I'm gonna say that
Plug it.
No, I'm gonna plug it. I have a really successful podcast myself. It's called The Real Estate Trifecta. We are having a women's empowerment episode coming up at the end of the month because of trend setting. We want to make sure that everybody gets their equal opportunity for their voices to be heard.
Right.
Me myself, I have a team that consists of all females. There's not one. The guys don't want to get their stuff together,
That's it.
and that's okay.
Girl power.
That's it. You know what I mean? Raised by a single mother. I have nothing but affection and respect for the dominance.
It's a soft spot for a lot of us. Yeah.
The dominance that female. It's like it's a triple threat. You know what I mean? I think us as guys, we have. We
I think we're
see
the
things,
underdogs. I think we're limited in many different ways. Personally,
yes. And as far as the limitations, we simplify where they calculate on a different sort of another level of math that we don't. So my
sense.
girls are Letty, Brittany, and Jennifer. We're killing right now. Thank you. We appreciate Douglas Elliman for giving us the platform. My branch manager, Katie Cardinelli, she's been amazing. We're pushing. This year is going to be a complete push. Again, my skill set coming into play and helping with the movement. The Real Men Wear Pink campaign. You can catch it. You're going to see a lot of promotion, especially on my handle at Carlos with Elliman on the gram and on Facebook. The Real Men Wear Pink is a breast cancer awareness fundraising campaign that Douglas Elliman decided to back. I had a campaign that I started this on my own. They saw the potential. They wanted to jump in. And I couldn't be happier. Wow. So
that's nice.
Our goal this year is 200,000. We've already reached our goal with halfway. We're halfway there with 100. 100 more to go, and we're excited. So
and where can they find if they want? Some people wanted to,
if you want to donate, we're this. I don't know when this is coming out. This episode's coming out, but we're having the Super Bowl boxes this year. That's what I'm starting my campaign with, $100 a box. Thank you, Jamie, for donating $100 to the Real Men Wear Pink.
My pleasure.
We appreciate you guys. Yes. But yeah, it's just a collaboration with different people that want to make sure that they contribute to the cause.
Excited to be part of it.
And we're going to have nothing but campaigns and fundraisers throughout the year. And yeah, we're excited. So you're going to see a lot of it. Real Men Wear Pink, the Salinas team at Douglas Elliman.
Let me get my tan on before I got with the pink. Just
listen, we're good. Oh my God, we like this with the sun. You know what I mean? Outside in 10 minutes. Forget it.
We're good.
No, this is not a spray tan. Natural.
I know people are always surprised. Like, how do you go from one shade so light to a darker one like that?
I came back from Puerto Rico. It was like my barber was like, "Sir, can I help you?" I was like, "Yo, it's me."
Listen, I was always called.
That's how we look.
Right.
It's like we're different.
Natural, right? Exactly.
I was always called a coffee bean. Oh, that's how tan I get, and I'm not.
Because you're Italian. You have olive.
I am olive.
Sicilians.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's the one. So that's the one. I spent a month in Italy. That's the one place I missed, and I regret it.
Really?
So yeah, we ended up in. We spent the week in Positano, but the idea was to go down to Sicily, and whatever. That's another conversation.
Yeah.
Yes.
That sounds cool.
I wish. I wish.
Yeah.
So guys, well, let's. I'm gonna wrap it up. Thank you for coming on. Coming on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you.
Great insight. I think you guys are going to be amazing. The platform.
Thank
you. Everyone needs a platform, and I think for your clientele and for your message. Keep knocking it out the park, man. I'm very, very happy to be here.
Thank you, man. It means a lot coming from you. Appreciate
it does.
Truly.
Thank
you.
So thank you, everyone, for joining us today for another episode of the Homeroom Lending Podcast. And, keep, stay tuned. More episodes to come. You can find us at the Homeroom Lending Podcast on YouTube. You can go on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and find us there. If you want to find out more information about the podcast and what's happening. All right. Well, thank you so much, guys.
See you soon.